And everyone joining us, thank you for your time this evening. Mark Bunzel and Lorena and Leonard Landon joining us as well for the Waggoner Guide webcast this evening. And want to give people a few minutes to kind of catch up and join us. And while we're doing that, Mark, how about you give us an update on your travels over the past week? Because I know all of us wish we were with you.
Well, next year you can. We can do that. Last week, for those of you who tuned in, I had a kind of an interesting week because I started out Monday morning at 3:30 in the morning, leaving my house in Anacortes and driving up to the Canadian border, crossing the border by car and driving up to the Waggoner Guide China Sea office in Qualicum Beach. And I brought books for them and met up with Sue Peterson, our ad and sales manager. And then we went on to see customers down towards Victoria and something in Victoria. Then the next day, more customers. And then the ferry back to Tawasin, Canada, and then across the border. And that was Tuesday of last week. And then I ran to the airport in Seattle and took a midnight flight to Miami and then on to St. Thomas. From St. Thomas, I saw some customers that we have in St. Thomas, and then got on another ferry, different ferry, and came over to Tortola, the island of Tortola, and the city of Roadtown in the British Virgin Islands. From there, I met up with our group that is the BVI Flotilla 1, and I've been on the boat with them. We have a 51-foot moorings Power Cat, beautiful boat, 4 cabins. We have 2 crew cabins, and we have somebody who's nicely agreed to sleep in the salon, and the boat is just gorgeous, very well equipped, flybridge, big social area outside or inside. And we've been going on around the different islands, a little different way of doing it for me, which is clockwise, where we headed out of Nanny Key, where we picked up the boat from Virgin Yacht Charters, and then took off and around the end to Soper's Hole West End. We had a wonderful dinner there at Pusser's, and then we continued on the next day to the island of Joost van Dyke and the world famous Foxy's Tamarind Bar, and then on to White Bay, where we went to the Soggy Dollar Bar. There's a theme here you're hearing. And then we went to Hendo's Hideout, where the food was just spectacular, and then back to Foxy's, and a dinner later that night at Foxy's. And there was music and just people from all over. We've run into all kinds of people from the Northwest. There are quite a few people that have chartered boats this week and that are down here having a great time. And the weather's been wonderful. So we went from Joost van Dyke to Scrub Island and the Scrub Island Resort, and from the Scrub Island Resort to Great Dog to do some snorkeling, and then up to Virgin Gorda and up to Gorda Sound, and went to the Bitter End Yacht Club and Saba Rock. We then came across to Leverick Bay, where we were last night, and yesterday we chartered a safari truck there, kind of a pickup truck with benches in the back and wide open with a canvas top. And I drove everybody to a famous place called the Baths. And this is the iconic big round boulders that you see. And everybody took a hike through there. And then after that, we went back, stopped at a scenic place called Hog Heaven, overlooking the bay up to the north, and then to Leverick's for a pirate show last night, a wonderful dinner, and then to our boat. And here we are today down at Cooper Island Beach Club.
Well, it's a tough job, but somebody's got to do it, right, Mark? I mean, you know?
Well, our customers and a number of people are Waggoner Guide customers, and they love it. They love it that we can offer this kind of cruising in the wintertime when it's not as nice to go out in the Northwest. And so we do this
deck right now, right? I mean, kind of set the scene for us here. I mean,
I'm below deck.
Where you're at.
Yeah, I'm below deck. I'm in my cabin. We've got 8 people above me that are having a wonderful dinner. and a couple libations. And so I'm taking one for the team going below deck. Thank you for pointing that out.
I mean, if you
But no,
want,
we have a great time. We've got another trip next week, and I'll be reporting from that trip. And then we'll probably do 2 of these next November. And people who want to go, they can sign up, and it's a great way to share the sail, share the expenses, and just have a great time with a fun group of people.
yeah, I know everybody who's watching this is wishing they were there and not probably on the Zoom, but is there any way you can migrate up and kind of show us what's going on, or are you wired in there?
I'm wired into my cabin, and I'm on a internet connection on the boat. And for those that need to work while they're on vacation, you can do this. It costs $185 for the week for a pretty good Wi-Fi connection all through this area. And that $185 covers everybody on the boat. So in our boat, we've got 10 people, and we've got everybody with their phones and laptops and everything else. It's worked out quite well.
That's good to hear. Now, while you've been off on the cruise, and I know this is work, it takes a lot of planning, a lot of experience. Leonard and Lorena are back at Waggoner Guide headquarters in Anacortes, and they're working away, right? I mean, you can see them right now. They are literally still in the office here. This bringing us the latest updates. So
yeah, they have been holding down the fort, so to speak, and making improvements and fixing things that haven't been fixed for a while. And I really can't express enough appreciation for what they do.
Oh,
Thank
yeah,
you for bringing that up.
They've got it covered. You know, I want to talk about events too, and want to bring you in, Leonard and Lorena, to talk about, Easter is coming up next weekend. Hard to believe we move into mid-April here. And Lorena, you've got an update on the Seattle Easter Boat Parade. Tell us about it.
Yes. If you're looking to do something over the Easter holiday, boat related, you can watch the Seattle Easter Boat Parade, or you can participate in the parade. The parade is April 16th on Saturday, starts at 2 in Lake Union. And there are lots of places to view the parade at Lake Union and the Ship Canal. If you want to participate, the deadline to register is April 12th. They've moved up the date, so you have more time now to register. You can go to SeattleEasterBoatParade.com and learn more about the parade and sign up to be a part of the parade, or just go down and have a great time viewing the decorated boats. There'll be judges at Morrison Fuel Dock. So you'll be judged on how wonderful and creative your decoration can be for Easter.
Yeah, it's always a fun event. This time of year too, Mark, it's, whether you're firing up the lawnmower for the first time, as I did earlier today, or you're firing up the boat, right? It's that time to, check everything out from a mechanical standpoint. A lot of stuff's been sitting over the winter. And I know that, coming up April 23rd in Anacortes, you've got some news on that event. A lot of people are new to boating, right? And I don't want to assume everybody that's tuned in is an expert here. This is pretty important.
Yeah, we, as many of our viewers know, we have a full slate of seminar programs we do, starting at the Seattle Boat Show with Seattle Boat Show University, and then typically carrying through the spring, where we do them as Cruisers College in association with the Skagit Valley College Marine Program. And Mike Beamer, who's our educational specialist there, he's head of the department head for marine technology at Skagit Valley College. He organizes some of these classes, and we organize some of these classes. So on April 23rd, we have 2 classes that you can sign up for, either on the Waggoner Guide website or on the Skagit Valley College website. Mike will be doing one on electrical work on boats, and a very popular course. He uses the labs of the Marine Technology Program, where you can actually get your hands dirty and work with some of these things. I'll be in the other classroom and doing a 3-hour class on weather and how to interpret the weather and how to use all these tools we have from the NOAA websites and predict wind and windy and get a picture. And I bring it right down to the basics. Is this a go or a no-go day? And there are some days out there when you look at that weather and you look at the buoy reports, and the seas out the Strait of Georgia are maybe 8 feet to 13 feet, and at an interval of 6 seconds or sometimes less. And you can say, you know what, I think I'm gonna sit at the dock today and enjoy the boat sitting there, or as you would be doing, Brian, mow that lawn. So
Yeah.
Join us. The classes are $45 each, and we hope you can. And we have a great time. We have fun, and you'll learn a lot as a result.
Yeah, Mike Beamer joining us next week. We'll talk about that more at the end of the show. We've done podcasts with him, very knowledgeable, obviously, and looking forward to that. Also want to talk about spring boats afloat. And, we had the boat show, but then you've got spring boats afloat, and this is a little different twist on it where you get to see the boats in the water. Lorena, maybe tell us a little bit more about that.
Yes, actually, the Spring Boats Afloat show is brand new for 2022. It's like the fall Boats Afloat show. It's held at Lake Union Piers. Used to be called Chandler's Cove. It's now Lake Union Piers. So yes, it's outside. There'll be lots of boats to see, buy, sell, get a feel for the boating lifestyle. It's held 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. Thursday and Friday, and 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. Saturday and Sunday. And again, this is a brand new event scheduled for April 28th through May 1st, and it's put on by the Northwest Yacht Brokers Association. And right now, Vulcan Real Estate is refurbishing or developing Chandler's Cove, now called Lake Union Piers. So the restaurants won't be open, but they've scheduled to have a 90-foot vessel there called the Olympic Star. So you can go aboard, grab some to-go meals and tasty snacks, enjoy the lounge, and just have a great time. It'll be the same format as the Fall Boats Afloat show. And you can go online to get tickets or learn more information at boatsafloatshow.com.
Okay. I was thinking of the fall show. That's what I was thinking of. So this is a new show.
And new for the spring. Another opportunity to see boats, buy, dream, investigate what type of boat is best for you.
Now, I'm hearing about the tall ship Lady Washington coming back into the Puget Sound region. Maybe, do you guys have an update on that?
We do. Of course, tall ships are beautiful sailing vessels, and the Lady Washington is a replica of the original Lady Washington, which was here in the Pacific Northwest in 1787. And it was actually the first American flag vessel to visit Japan, Honolulu, and Hong Kong. So some very interesting history there. And replica Lady Washington will be in Puget Sound areas in April and May, scheduled to appear in Tacoma, Fox Waterway, Olympia, Shoal, Bay Marina, Port Orchard, Fort Ludlow, and Fort Everett. And you can find a schedule online. Folks can tour the boat at designated days at 11 a.m. So check the schedule. Tours are 11 a.m. They're free. They do ask for a $5 donation. They also have the sailing event, so you can actually purchase a ticket to go sailing in the evening. Sounds like great fun to actually experience being on a tall ship.
Do you have the website address? I can put it in the chat.
Let's see. Yes, it's historicalseaport.org/ticket/. And we will be posting an article about this on our e-news on April 15th. So you can check that out.
Okay, great. And I know it's a ways off. I mean, it'll be here before we know it, but the Anacortes Boat and Yacht Show coming up May 19th through the 21st. And, aside from Seattle, I mean, this is a big one too. And it's great to see all those boats in the water.
It's a very popular show here in Anacortes. It's always quite well attended, lots of boats, hundreds of boats actually, new boats, brokerage boats, seminars, accessories, and service providers. It's a great place to shop for boats, accessories, ask questions, and of course, Waggoner will have a booth. Being here in Anacortes, we'll have a booth at the show where you can buy the 2022 Waggoner, for some passes and other books like the Exploring Series books, maps, and other publications. So we look forward to seeing you. Office staff will be there to answer questions and welcome you. And it's a great time at the show in Anacortes.
That's great. Planning season in full swing. I know it's not too late to be planning trips, but maybe, I asked Mark this before we went on, updates on marinas, what's going on, can you kind of fill us in there? Because I know a lot of people might be a little late to the game this year with things reopening in Canada and so forth. Maybe give us an update.
We have quite a list. We're starting from the south going north. So the session tonight will be mostly for Puget Sound, and then our next Waggoner Light will cover BC. We've been making phone calls. Things are opening up. Canada usually does not open until Victoria Day, the long weekend in May, which is around the 20th that weekend, and we'll get more news for you on BC next time. In Puget Sound, starting from the kind of going south, Gerald Cove Marina is now mostly permanent moorage. They do have guest space they assign when slips are available.
And that's the marina, not the state park.
That's the marina. And the store and the fuel dock opens Memorial Day. So if you're headed that way for Memorial Day, the store and fuel dock will be open then.
Great ice cream cones there.
Ice cream, very friendly, helpful folks. Lake Bay Marina, you may recall, it was purchased by DNR and Arbaugh. They worked together. The property closed on December 28, 2021. And just so boaters know, Lake Bay currently, they're removing the old docks, the old fuel tanks and derelict boats. And so the marina will be closed for at least 2 years until they get in the new docks. That we'll keep you posted on that.
Can I interrupt for 1
Yeah.
minute? We had somebody was asking for the website on the boats afloat. If you have that, I'll type it in while you're continuing there. Okay, I got it. Thank you. Go ahead. Sorry.
Yep. Okay, and then let's see next. Boathouse 19 restaurant at Narrows Marina was purchased by Anthony. So we're looking forward to trying out a new Anthony's restaurant. Always wonderful and always, of course, located right on the water. Foss Harbor Marina, they've expanded their office, so they no longer have a convenience store. They have more lounge area. They used to be first come, first served, and now you can make reservations at Foss Harbor Marina by going online, and reservations are made through DocWatch, the booking service. Blake Island, of course, is open for moorage and to use the buoys. However, the Tillicum Salmon Bake and Native Dance will not be running in 2022 by the Argosy Cruises. They've opted not to renew the contract with Washington State Park, and Parks is looking for a new concessionaire partner. So we hope to see that open again in the future. Chandler's Cove, we mentioned, is Lake Union Piers now is being developed by Vulcan Real Estate. And I think that's it for my list. And Leonard, you had some more updates.
Yeah. Right. So they continuing on with the Puget Sound area, Silverdale over near Bremerton, the seasonal water is on as of mid-April, and power currently is shut off on the pier, but there's limited water on the limited power on the floats. A reminder that there's in in Mukilteo, they moved the ferry dock, if you haven't been there for a while, and the Mukilteo ferry dock moved to the north a little bit. Well, right next to the ferry dock, there used to be 3 floats in there right in front of Ivers that were available for smaller vessels to come in. Those are gone now. When they moved the ferry dock, those went away, so those are not available anymore. And at Port of Everett, they continue to do an enormous amount of development. If you haven't been there in a while, I encourage you to visit Port of Everett. The dramatic things are happening in there, and it's totally transformed. And there's a lot more there than there used to be. So visit that. Macau Marina, that's out on the peninsula, and that has been closed during COVID times, and it is now open again. So the marina is once again open, and the museum is open again daily. So the Macau Museum, if you haven't been there, that's a fantastic place to visit. Shilshole Bay Marina, it has an interesting discount program offered right now. If you make reservations and pay 24 hours in advance, you get a small discount on a per foot basis on your moorage. And Friday Harbor is now taking reservations as of May, not now, but as of May 15th. So through the summer, they're going to be taking reservations. Roche Harbor is taking reservations through Docwa, and so each day and the allocated space for reservations sometimes fills quickly. If it is full, if you're denied or you don't get a reservation, then show up, and it's a on available basis. So anchor out and then you're put onto a wait list at Roche Harbor, and they'll contact you if there's space coming available. But they are taking reservations right now. It's go to their website, and that takes you to Dockwall. So they're using Dockwall right now. And a reminder that Snug Harbor Resort is only available for guests that are staying at the lodging as well. That's also a very shallow area, so if you're headed in there, make sure you're on higher tide. And Rosario Resort reservations are available online. Phone service is limited, so go online looking for reservations. Just a reminder, if you're interested in buying a resort, Rosario Resort is for sale right now, as is West Sound. West Sound Marina is still for sale. They're taking reservations for the same day, so call ahead for space at West Sound.
And then Deer Harbor, did you mention?
Go ahead.
During the off season, it's first come, first served, but in the summer, they also take reservations through Docwa online.
So I wanted to share screen on this is let's get the right one. The updates. So I wanted to show folks all of the information that we just covered is in our updates table, which you can find on waggonerguide.com, and just click on this tile, and it will take you to the updates. And this is, as you can see here, there's one line per marina, and also important information about the borders. So go to the updates table, and we keep this. This is up to the date information. We don't have to make marina or website changes in order to affect changes here. This is linked through to a table that we update dynamically. And as you can see, the status is the thing to look for here. Open simply means everything's running normally. It's as documented in the Waggoner Guide. Updates means that something has changed since the most recent update, since the most recent printed version of the Waggoner Guide. So you'll find here that there's something that's different in the updates. Limited means that they're open, but there's something that is some part of it that's not functional at the time. And of course, closed simply means it's closed at this time. So I encourage you to head there. You can get to this by going to waggonerguide.com and then click on updates, or if you have with your 2022 Waggoner Guide, at the front of each chapter, you'll find a QR code. And if you scan that QR code, it'll take you to the appropriate section of this table. And by the way, the table is broken up by Washington waters, British Columbia waters, the northern BC waters, and on the outside. So other than the Strait of Georgia and beyond the Johnstone Strait. So up the north coast of BC and the outside waters of West Coast Vancouver Island, and then also there's Southeast Alaska. So again, the QR codes are going to take you to the appropriate tabbed area, and it'll take you to the appropriate section of of marina updates that you're looking for and that are connected with the chapter in the Waggoner Guide that you're looking at.
That's awesome. I mean,
Leonard and Lorena do a tremendous amount of work updating
wow.
all this information because it changes, and it's so helpful when you're doing a trip. There's nothing more disturbing than getting to a place and expecting the restaurant to be open or the fuel dock to be open, and it's not.
Yeah.
And we don't have control over that. Where you could help us though is you can email us anytime you see things that are different or you hear things that are different, and we'll get it posted so that everybody can see this information and increase their enjoyment on the water.
Yeah. I mean, wow. I see that. And I mean, we appreciate everything you do behind the scenes to collect all that information. That's a lot of phone calls. It's a lot of emails. It's and it's a huge resource. I mean, how do you not have that? I mean, it's just a incredible amount of work. So thank you for that update. And I know, Leonard, you also had an update on the Swinomish Channel and this bridge. There was a lot of back and forth on the webinar last week about this bridge. Is it open? Is it closed? What's the deal? Give us the latest here.
So on the Swinomish, the railroad bridge is what we reported last time on a local notice to mariners that came out about 2 weeks ago announcing that there would be a closure. And the local notice to mariners incorrectly had it at 2 weeks. One of our viewers actually tipped us off that it wasn't 2 weeks. Indeed, it was only 2 days. We thank the viewer for that, and it led to more research. And indeed, the U.S. Coast Guard had just today updated and revised that local notice to mariners, and they have corrected it. So indeed, it's just 2 days.
Okay.
It's the 12th and the 26th of April, and it's from 9 a.m. until 3 p.m. And that's the railroad bridge on the north end of Swinomish Channel will not be opening to vessel traffic. So it'll be closed for repairs. The bridge will remain closed. So that was a part of it. And the other part, we took our boat down to the boat show in February, and on our way back up with the boat, we decided we'd just do a little survey of the Swinomish Channel this was mainly on the southwest end of it, from Goat Island out towards the entrance. And the reason we did that was because it's been since 2018 was the last time there was a maintenance dredging. And that area, that's one of the 4 areas that silts up pretty badly. And indeed, we did find that there's about 7 feet, or we found the minimum depth of about 7 feet at mean low water in the area that's from Goat Island southwest to the entrance to the Swinomish Channel. We happened to, Lorena wrote the article. She's the writer. And Leonard puts together bullet items, and then Lorena turns it into something. So she wrote the article. Lorena wrote an article and posted it out there. And one of our viewers out there happened to be somebody that is connected with NOAA, or has been connected with NOAA, and has been a surveyor with NOAA. And they connected us up with U.S. Coast Guard. Long story short, today there was a local notice to mariners about shoaling that's down to 7 feet in the southwestern end of Swinomish Channel. So that's a report that there is shoaling going on, and that there should be a project depth. The depth of the Swinomish is supposed to be dredged to 12 feet, and we're down to 7 feet. According to the contact that we had, they're saying that they have a dredging budgeted for 2023 for the Swinomish, and that's probably a maintenance dredging, which means they just hit the bad spots and not do the whole thing. So that's, did I miss anything?
I think that's it.
Okay, that's it on the Swinomish.
Well, this is a great example of where we have a dialogue going on with all of you, and your information is so important. Don't hesitate to let us know, and we'll let you know. And speaking of that, while on the show about 5 minutes ago, we got an update, and I didn't hear about this, but I'm down in the Virgin Islands. But there was a fire in Friday Harbor this morning. And from the sounds of it, and this is in the chat line, if you want to look at the link to it, the beloved Herb's Tavern on Spring Street. I don't know if it burned down or how badly it was damaged, probably in the article that's in that link. but a bad fire there, unfortunately.
Got it. I just noticed a chat here on, somebody was asking about reciprocal moorage and vacant slips. Not sure, and dock wall.
I think some, actually some yacht clubs do use dock wall. Not all, but dock wall is becoming more popular, we're finding now in Puget Sound. So you'll find more marinas are using the dock wall service, and even a few yacht clubs are using dock wall to schedule their guest moorage.
Probably a good subject for a future show, seeing it's starting to become more and more popular. So we'll look into that for you all.
Yeah, and thanks to Mike Schmidt for sharing that story on Friday Harbor. It's obviously still early here. Several businesses destroyed. Looks like it actually started in the Windermere office there. I know many of you are familiar with that area, and there's Herb's Tavern, the Crow's Nest Coffee Shop, the kayak place right there on the east side of Windermere, and boy, a big.
That's a shame.
Yeah, it is a shame. Looks like the whole corner of that block got taken out. They had some foam flow into the bay there, but that's too bad. Mike, thanks for sharing that with us. I want to wrap this up here as we cruise past the bottom of the hour. We talked about Mark's Flotilla right now, and I want to ask you, Mark, for those of us new to boating, it's already April. I know so many people who are experienced start planning, a year ago. Is it too late to, I guess it maybe depends where you're going, but maybe talk about, planning trips this summer,
Yep.
Canada reopening. Is it too late to go certain places?
Well, two things. One, we do two flotillas. We do a Alaska flotilla that's going to be leaving May 16th, and I'll be reporting from that. And then Sue Peterson will be running a Desolation Sound flotilla. Now, I believe both of those flotillas are completely full.
Good.
If you're dying to get on, call our office, talk to Karen or Ian, and ask them to put you on a standby list. We already do have a standby list for Alaska, but it doesn't hurt to get added to that. But Brian, I think what you're talking about is we talk about kind of doom and gloom with these marinas filling up, and that is true this year, but it's not necessarily too late. We've talked to a number of marinas that are just really looking forward to their guests for the summer. And I think you can call the marina and make a reservation if they take reservations. And I highly recommend you do that this year. We're even doing that down in the Virgin Islands, where years before we didn't have to do that. So I think also, if you plan carefully, July and August are the two most popular months for boating in the Pacific Northwest. If you can go in September and even early October, go for it. Just allow extra time when you go late in the season, that the weather may not be a good day to go boating, and we want you to be safe. But I wouldn't give up. Try it. You can work the weekdays instead of the weekends. Roche Harbor and Rosario Resort, places like that often are very full on the weekends, and then have space during the week. So you could plan a trip around where the crowd goes and have a really good time.
Kind of a weather geek here, so I don't want to inject my personal bias here, but the seminars you've done at the Seattle Boat Show about weather and what you do about weather, I mean, you touched on that there, and that's why I asked, the September, October period, right? The further north you are, obviously the more careful you need to be about October, but it's just fascinating, how you teach that. Maybe just give us a little snippet of that.
Well, and we'll be teaching this in the weather course we'll be offering on April 23rd. You can sign up for that. But a lot of what I do is talk about the go, no go. And as we go into the fringes of the season, we're really recommending people that they have more time allocated to just sit at the dock and read a book and say, today is a better day to be seated right here and enjoy. Let's say it's going to be blowing rain. Well, I think blowing rain can be beautiful from a boat. I wouldn't want it for a week, but and what I do is I try to teach looking out on the different weather products that are available, or even listening to the weather on the VHF and making a notes on it, and then deciding a go or no go. And that no go doesn't mean it's the day is lost. It means you could be doing some other things that might be quite nice. But and I even sometimes plan my trips that if I see bad weather coming, I plan to go to a town which has some great museums. And then I go to the museums and then continue on with my trip.
Yeah. Yeah. I remember it was maybe 3-4 years ago, you were coming back from Ketchikan and we were communicating and you're like, hey, it's another day in Ketchikan. I'm I'm going to be here a couple of days. Right. And I'm like, okay, well, we'll work around that. But I mean, it's very fascinating how, you teach that, and that course is coming up. And Ronnie just sent us a direct message about the 2023 Flotilla to Alaska. I know Leonard and Lorena see that and will be in touch with you about signing up for that, when that's available. So last but not least, Mike Beamer coming up next week. And we podcasted with him, spent time in Anacortes. So knowledgeable about everything, from small boats to yachts in terms of maintenance. And this is, I think, we had a great episode last week, and we're going to have an even bigger and better one next week, because this is the one thing I think a lot of people kind of dread, but you have to really pay attention to it. Right, Mark?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And what Mike talks about in very practical, easy to understand terms is troubleshooting electrical problems and really how you can solve problems. Leonard is an expert on this. Leonard has gone through his share of electrical problems, and I love talking to him about this, because well, Leonard, what'd you run into this week? And he's off fixing something and discovering something new. So Leonard can also share quite a bit of how to fix and what tools to make sure you have and things like that.
We'll have a fun time with Mike next week. He'll go through the checklist, all the things we should be looking before we head out on the water, and keep us all from having a breakdown when we'd rather
and
be
we have a special giveaway, don't we?
Yes,
We do. That was just a second. Let me grab it here. We have this brand new Husky tool bag.
Wow.
And it's quite the tool bag, brand new. And we're going to be doing a fun little contest at next week's episode. Michael Beamer is coming up with a little contest so that we can select the winner for that. And whoever wins that is going to get this deluxe Husky. And being a WSU Cougar, Mark pointed out that I would have a problem with the name, and I do. So the only change might be I might put a piece of tape over the Husky and put Cougar on there. But you can take it off unless you're the Cougar out there, and then you want to leave that on there.
Well, what a rivalry between those two schools.
It's a nice bag either way. I mean, and no tools not included, right?
Sorry, tools not included.
Okay, I want to make that clear. All right, well, we got people about 10 minutes past. Great update, and looking forward to Mike Beamer coming on next week. Mark, continue to have an amazing trip down there. Sounds like a lot of fun, and I know a lot of people are looking forward to probably next year signing up. Leonard and Lorena, thank you so much for all the work you've done the past week, and we'll talk to and see everybody again next week right here on the Waggoner Guide webinar.
Thank you, Brian. Good night, Leonard. Good night, Lorena. I'm going above deck.
All right.
You are.